Guys, welcome back into my kitchen. This is Linda. Some of you have asked me what my name was, so I thought I'd just tell you in the beginning of the video. My name is Linda, and my channel is Hands That Cook. Today, you know it's football season. Sometimes you're feeding a crowd, but even if you're not, so what? We're going to make a pecan sour cream pound cake. So the first thing I want you to do is preheat your oven to 300 degrees and always go 10 to 20 minutes beyond when the buzzer goes off, because it's really not at the correct temperature when the buzzer goes off. Then I want you to grease and flour a 10-inch Bundt pan, or a tube pan, and I chose to use a tube pan because the bottom is flat. But I floured it, and then I sprinkled, I greased and floured it actually. Then I sprinkled 1/4 cup of chopped pecans down in the bottom, and we're just going to set that aside for now. Alright, in the bowl, I've got, now I want to tell you this, the recipe called, well, not right here, we'll go with, I've got 3 cups of white sugar and a cup of butter. I did not use unsalted. A cup is 2 sticks or 16 tablespoons. And I'm going to blend all this together, the sugar and the butter, until it's creamy and light and fluffy, and then we'll be back. Alright, I got that beaten up. Now I've got 6 room temperature eggs, and I'm going to add them one at a time, beating after each addition, and I don't want you to have to watch that, so we'll be back. Alright, I got all those eggs folded in, and I have added a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to get that mixed in. And remember what I've told you in a lot of my baking videos. Always, always, always use large eggs when you bake. And don't add your flavorings until after the oil or butter, whatever you use in your baked goods, is in there, because it does better. It tastes better. It holds its strength better. Alright, I'm going to set this aside for just a second because I want to explain something to you. The recipe calls for 3 cups of cake flour, or 2 cups of cake flour and a cup of ground pecans. I chose to go with the 2 cups of flour and the ground pecans. So I've got that in here. I've got 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I've, mixed it all up. Then I've measured out a cup of sour cream. Now I'm going to alternate these in the batter with the big bowl here, the bowl of batter. We're going to alternate and start and end with the flour. So when I get that done, you'll be back with me. Alright, gang, I got all that in there. Now I've got the batter. Another thing I want to tell you is when you're making a pound cake, everything has to be room temperature, or 2 things can happen. Your pound cake won't rise right, or it'll have little oily or thick spots in it. That's the 2 things. And so the butter and eggs were both room temperature, and the sour cream had been sitting out for about an hour. So I'm going to pour this into my 10-cup tube pan. And then I'm going to put it in the oven on the middle shelf at 300 degrees. Let's see if I can turn this around a little bit. At 300 degrees. And we're going to bake this, let me look at the paper because I can't remember. 75 to 90 minutes. And then you have to let it cool for 20 minutes before you turn it out onto a wire rack. So, after I've done that, we'll be back and we're going to make a simple little, it's not really an icing, we're going to make a simple little topping for this, and then we'll be back. And of course, you know I've got the taster here, so he'll be more than happy to taste this. Cake. Don't you know it's going to be delicious with pecans instead of that extra cup of flour? Oh my goodness. Alright guys, see you in a bit. Alright, our cake is done, and we're going to make a little bit of a glaze to go over the top. It actually calls for orange juice. I didn't have any, so I'm using lemon juice. But the first thing going in is a teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, and it's not, as you can hear me shaking the bottle, it is not fresh lemon juice, it's concentrated out of a bottle.
Well, that's Mexican vanilla.
Mexican vanilla has cinnamon in it. Or no, is that Mexican chocolate?
Your mother brought it back from Mexico.
Oh, the actual bottle of vanilla that I have. Yeah. Alright, we're stirring this stuff up here. Now my cake, which you're about to see, I did not knock the flour off of the bottom of that tube pan that I had. And this is actually the first time this has ever happened to me. But the top of my cake is white because there's so much flour on it. Let me move out. So much flour on it that it just stuck to the top of the cake for some strange reason. But hopefully it'll still taste, whoops, sorry about that guys. It'll still taste good. And this has got a few lumps in it because I did not sift my confectionery sugar. But we're just going to drizzle this over the top. And then of course I have Mr. Sam here, who's going to be his favorite thing to do is to taste. So we've got him right in his element right now.
Well, I like to swallow also.
You do? Well, yeah. Alright, there's our icing.
It's a beautiful cake, I'll say that.
It is pretty. Well, I have to tell you that it took mine the entire 90 minutes to bake, but it came out of the pan beautifully. I didn't have a bit of trouble. Not one bit of trouble getting it out. How big a piece?
That's about right.
Okay. So then you let it cool in the pan for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then you turn it out on a wire rack. And you have to wait till it's totally cool before you put the icing on it. Let me get a little close up of this. Can you all see that beautiful cake? Look at that. Look at that. All right, Sammy.
Well, the holiday season will be coming up for a
Here's
long.
your fork.
You know, we got.
Oh yeah, this would be a good one for the holidays.
And I love pound cake. Mmm. Very good.
Is it moist?
Oh yeah, it's moist. And actually, it's a little lighter than most pound cakes I've tasted, but taste the pecans, sour cream.
Well, that might be due to the sour cream and the cup of ground pecans instead of using 3 cups of flour.
It's a very delicious cake. I won't regret trying this. This is very good. If you like pound cake, you'll love this.
Okay, guys, thank you for coming in today and spending part of your day with me. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. It only takes a minute. And until next time, you all take care.
Very good.